Change of pace.
Welcome to the Change of Pace podcast. Today we're going to be talking about Game 6 of the finals where the Indiana Pacers blew out the Oklahoma City Thunder, forcing a Game 7. So we're going to be talking about that and then also discuss what we expect for this historic Game 7 on Sunday and just see like how the NBA landscape has changed because of this series. So there's a lot to talk about. It's going to be a lot of fun. I just quickly wanted to start off by crashing out a little over how awful my team played. I was watching this game with some friends at BJ's, and I'm not used to watching games in public. I guess maybe I was a little too cocky to watch this game. Like, well, I don't know why I chose to do it in public, but the amount of obscenities that were coming out of my mouth, I felt really bad for the elderly couple sitting across from us who just kept looking at me um, in concerned expression. But yeah, this is because of you, OKC, that elderly couple probably had a pretty unfortunate dinner. They were abysmal tonight. As bad as it can get. This was supposed to be a historic team and all like a all-time team with their net rating, with their regular season record, even their net rating in the playoffs up to this point, what has been historic. But they've just constantly disappointed in big moments. I mean, obviously they've risen in big moments too. That's how you get to the finals. But this is a game where that could have been a coronation, the start of a dynasty, and it instead became the underdog pulling the biggest upset you can and forcing a game 7 where anything can happen. Now, obviously, this is on your home floor. You have the chance to respond, and OKC's responded all postseason. Uh, that's what got them there in the first place. But the fact that it led to this and this disappointing loss in this like big of a scale, what shot 2 for 18 from three in the competitive portion of this game, 21 turnovers throughout this game. Shai had 8 turnovers. Chet Holmgren, I don't know, doesn't know how to make a shot anymore. He's shooting 12% from three in the series and 35% from the field as a 7'1" center. I know, second year player hurt for most of the year and whatnot, but this is just inexcusable play. And when your entire team can't shoot or can't pass, it's hard to win a game. So hopefully they can step up. Hopefully Mark Dagnall can make the adjustments necessary, and hopefully Game 7 can live up to expectations and finish off this amazing season. But if it doesn't, I'm gonna be very, very upset. Um,
Dub was also a minus 40 this game. Should
he
point that out.
was, yeah.
Historic.
Yeah. Yeah.
What do you guys
On,
think?
on chat, I saw a stat. He has the lowest field goal percentage by center in an NBA final series. Um, it's
What?
it's Chet 35.3%. You have minimum 50 field goals attempted. And
Yeah.
since the merger, there's Chet, then it's Ewing, then it's Miles Turner. So they're just kind of going at each other, and nobody's making anything. Yeah, it was hard to watch from the OKC perspective. They just looked disengaged. They looked like um, they didn't really even want to be there for a large part of that game. I think the most telling part of it was the third quarter when you go down 20 in today's NBA at half. It's a large deficit to overcome, but you still have a chance to get back in that game. They come out in the third quarter. First of all, they can't score at all. And then 4 for 17 in the third quarter, 2 of 9 from three, 6 turnovers, 3 assists. Right. So that already tells me that not only did you come out slow, you went back into halftime knowing what was at stake, and you still came out and gave nothing. They had, I think, the longest scoring drought in NBA Finals history with over 6 minutes.
Wow.
6 minutes if you count the end of the second quarter and the start of the third.
Mm.
Just uncharacteristic, but at the same time, like we've seen OKC have these type of games. Game 3 against Minnesota, game 3 against Denver, game 6 against Denver. Even the Memphis game before Ja got hurt, they had a similar like
Yeah.
they didn't put anything together. That game they put something together at the end of the game. But it's there's something about OKC that this it just randomly happens where nothing goes right for them.
Yeah, I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
Is it
I feel like, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. Is it coaching? Is it youth, which everyone points to with these situations, or is it just uh are they not ready? Is this not the team for this moment? And that's the
It
question that
is,
finish up
dude.
the games.
Like the talent is there. It's just like you're saying, like the urgency just isn't there. Um, I feel like they had Tyrese Halliburton was supposed to be out for 3 weeks. Like in the regular season, he would not be playing this game, and it just didn't seem like they made it tough on him at all today. He was like very comfortable out there, and like I hate to compare them to the Warriors, but like, dude, if the Warriors saw a chance to like you saw, like we were comparing the series of 2022, bro. Like they fucked the Celtics in 2022 in Game Six. Like they were like, you guys are not winning one more game, and they came into Boston. They basically kept a sizable lead for the entire game. Like the Thunder just don't have that like go for the kill mentality for some
Honestly,
reason.
this game, the way Indiana played reminded me of that Golden State game because of that huge
Yeah.
lead they had to close the half and then
Mhm.
just keeping in their foot on the gas the entire game where it seemed like the
Yeah.
stars of Boston just couldn't do anything.
Yeah. And like, but the and like, if you want to keep using that comparison, at least the Celtics, like they came back, they brought it to within like eight, but the Thunder just like it was 30 points going into the fourth quarter, dude. Like they literally pulled everyone going in the fourth. That's wild. I thought Jada was actually like surprisingly fine this game for the like the at least like the competitive portion of it. Shai looked disengaged, and like I don't know, the role players were like really did step up for the part that mattered. Caruso was also minus 33.
Didn't
He was
score.
terrible.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was 0 of
I
2 from
think
the field.
I think we got to start with Shea just because 8 turnovers today. Some of them weren't fully his fault, but some of them were. Like he had one where Casey Wallace is standing under the basket and he passes up an open jump shot from about 12 feet to pass to Casey Wallace, a 6'2" point guard under the rim. There's a lot of questionable decisions. I didn't like his process today, similar to how it was in I think game 3, where versus game 5 where he had 11 assists and he was dishing out the ball, making all the right reads. Today just felt like he came out deciding that he was going to force the issue, and he just had a lot of errant passes. Yeah, he just ball stopping a lot, and it's just like, dude, you that's not how you won these games. You've won these games
Yeah.
by shooting the ball. It's not his fault when nobody can hit the broadside of a barn offensively. So in that sense, like we got to give him somewhat to pass. I think in game 7, I want to see him shoot a couple more threes. He attempted one today. That's not enough. Like, I don't in the future I don't want him to go through this Anthony Edwards style of completely switch over and only shoot threes now. Like Anthony Edwards led the league in threes. I don't need that. But in big games, like especially one where your team can't shoot, you have to attempt more than one three. Like you can't kill them with long twos, especially an Indiana team that shoots so many threes.
Yeah, I agree. I thought Shea was
Mhm.
pretty disappointing. Like he was getting into the lane doing what he could, but uncharacteristic turnovers, pretty bad finishing for his standard. I thought he wasn't really fighting through contact. I think some calls didn't go his way for sure, and I think he was expecting that. And at this point in the season, at home or on the road, you just can't expect the calls to go your way, and you got to fight through and be resilient. Agreed. 8 turnovers is awful. I don't know why he has these games every so often where he just decides it needs to be his moment sometimes, rather than like trying to be the perfect point guard where he has the games where he's like the perfect player, makes all the right reads and does like last game, game 2 of this series. But then again, we have games like game 1 of this series, game 3 of this series where he just needs to push the issue and it costs the team a lot. And I guess he was trying to be a passer this game, but obviously it wasn't working. A lot of bad passes. He was getting pushed up. Like a lot of hedges were affecting him in a way they haven't been affecting him all series, where he was able
Yeah.
to get a lot of these doubles. And then just this game, it felt like every time he was trying to, or every time he was trying to make a pass out of these doubles or hedges, it was just getting tipped. It was getting stolen, and he was getting ripped from behind by TJ McConnell. Like these things can't happen in a finals game.
DJ McConnell needs a shout out for this game,
Yeah,
dude.
for
Like
sure.
that was like a picture perfect game from him. He matched Hallie in minutes basically, and like it's like he has to close. I feel like in a game 7, if he's putting up this kind of performance, I think like a big reason why they lost game 4 was because he didn't close that game. I mean, Pacers were in the prime position to actually win that game, and it was a big reason to TJ McConnell, and then they just went cold for the last like 5 minutes. So I mean, I don't know what kind of lineup that would look like because that means you're basically benching Nemhard
Hmm.
or Neesmith, who. So
Yeah.
I'm not really sure, but like when he's playing like this, dude, 4 steals too. Um, yeah, it's what a game.
Yeah, I think we do have to give the Pacers a ton of credit. I think Carlisle also deserves a ton of credit. I think they decided to kind of ease off the full court pressure a little bit, and instead throw more some intense half court pressure onto OKC. I think that really disrupted their rhythm. A lot more strong side help, a lot more double teams, quick double teams. The average pickup point through the first 5 games for an Indiana defender on an OKC offensive player was 56.9 feet. Average pick point tonight was 41.4 feet.
Whoa.
So they
It's a
backed
great
up
stat.
they backed
Yeah.
up, yeah, they backed up 15 feet and said, okay, you can bring up the ball a little bit more, but we're gonna muck things up in the half court. And I think that really there was a lot of times, like Rohan, you mentioned that TJ McConnell steal, where Shay's they also they like to double Shay a lot on the left side of the floor.
Mm.
I think they should do a lot more because that's definitely his sweet spot. I think that they the moment he turns his back, they're running at him. So they're letting him dribble the ball up the floor. And it's interesting that that's kind of been Indiana's identity through the playoffs is like ball pressure 94 feet. It's kind of cool to see that Carlisle believes that nothing is, too valuable to change, that he's okay with like, we can, even if we don't do what we've always been doing, our identity is still there. They dialed back to the ball pressure today and it, 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 it absolutely fried OKC. I don't think they were expecting it.
Another thing I liked on Indiana's behalf is they were just shooting. They know they're a better shooting team than OKC, and especially at road, like what we were talking about last episode. Like in OKC has not shot well on the road finals at all, and Indiana shot really well at home, and that continued for this game. Obviously, the final stats don't look too good, but that's because they shot 1 for 7 in the fourth quarter in garbage time. They shot
Yeah.
really well this game, and Obi Toppin was going crazy from three. It felt like Neesmith couldn't miss, Nemhard couldn't miss. Like they were getting really good looks and making capitalizing on these chances. I think the only guy who's really been struggling from there was Miles Turner, and Mathurin also had 0 for 5, but a lot of that was in crunch time, garbage time as well. But Miles Turner, another guy who's really struggling, like you said, in that stat, shooting 37% from the field
Yeah.
this postseason, like or in
Oh,
the
yuck, dude.
insane.
Yeah.
Really, really bad. But other than that, man, they're able to get to the paint. They're able to hit threes, and they're shooting a lot of them. And if OKC can't win the turnover advantage like they did this game, which Indiana was great at keeping the ball, I felt like that was more just OKC not amping the pressure up to the level that they usually do. And it was the lack of the assertiveness on that end. But the fact that Indiana could keep the ball, turn the OKC over so many times, and win on the glass, like you're not gonna win it. No one's gonna win a game like that.
Yeah.
And
7 more offensive rebounds for the Pacers than the Thunder as well. I have a question for you guys. We've seen these guys in 6 games. Who do you think like looks more dominant when they're at their best? Because before this series, I would have said the Thunder by like a mile. But I feel like when the Pacers have been clicking, like they've looked really, really like
Mhm.
unstoppable. And I'm saying that to ask for game 7. I'm seeing all over Twitter and I'm just like reminded of it that like in game 7, 2016, it was J.R. Smith who brought the Cavs back in the game,
Yeah.
right? In game 7s in the past, like Grant Williams has hit like 7 threes, Ray Allen, Shane Battier, they've all gone off in game 7. So in my opinion, as much as I want the Thunder to win for size, like sanity, um, the Pacers, I just feel like they have more role guys who could have games like that. Like
100%.
who knows if Miles Turner has like a 6-3 game, or like Benedict Mathurin has another 27-point game in him,
Mhm.
or if Obi Toppin or TJ McConnell has another game like that. I just feel like when you have a good Aaron Wiggins game, it's like, wow, he had like 12 points, right? Like
Mhm.
that was a big contribution for him. Or Isaiah Joe hit 3 threes. But for these Pacers guys, Obi Toppin led them in scoring today. And it's not crazy to think Benedict Mathurin can do the same thing. So that's what really scares me about the Pacers in a one-off scenario. But they are 0-4 and like on Sundays apparently, right? This postseason, so that's a good thing.
I'm with you. I think the Pacers definitely have in their wins have looked just so much more comfortable than OKC, even in OKC's
Mm.
wins. That something that we haven't seen people do against OKC's defense is just look comfortable. And just seeing TJ like being able to break down the defense, get into the teeth of the defense, and then shoot those little 8 footers. Like
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
something that like we assume going into the series. There's no way this is a TJ McConnell series. He's way too undersized.
right.
He's quick enough,
Yeah.
but I think I definitely agree. I think this is what I mean. Indiana's their whole thing is their depth, right? Like they have 10 playable guys, 8 that can shoot you off the floor. I can't believe that Obi Toppin might change the trajectory of the NBA in NBA history, but it's actually a possibility. I think Game 7, what I'm gonna look for a lot is today I didn't feel Lou Dort and I didn't feel Alex Caruso at all. Um,
Hmm.
in terms of their defensive pressure, they didn't have any steals through the first half. That's just not something that we've grown accustomed to seeing with OKC. We always like the physicality is always there. Today it wasn't, and I think at home it'll be a little bit easier for them. Game 7 will be very physical, as it has been all series, but even more so. So I think that does favor OKC a little bit more. But sometimes it's just like the 3-point shooting. How can you if
About the
Indiana's gonna shoot,
physicality, though, I think Scott Foster's refereeing, so I don't know how much physicality he's thinking.
Yeah,
He
is that confirmed?
really, I believe
that
so. Yeah,
I saw on Twitter they're saying he's gonna. I mean, he's like probably the best, like the most reputable ref
yeah,
out
they
there. So
usually
I'm
put
sure
him
they'll put
out
him
there.
for Game 7
Yeah, but the problem with
of the
Scott Foster
finals.
is every time he refs a game, you realize that he's refing a game. Honestly, like today, I think Zach Zarber refed the game, but like I couldn't tell you for sure who refed the game. I know damn well I'm gonna remember that Scott Foster refed that game, and he refed the game for
But it
me.
was a blowout though. Like I feel like in general you don't really remember a ref in a
That's
blowout
true.
unless it's like because I don't think like the Pacers won because of the refs this game. I like
No.
they were just too dominant, right?
Yeah,
But I think it's likely, unfortunately, that Scott Foster refs it. Yeah. So what are you guys looking for Game 7? What are your some of your thoughts? What do you guys have to clean up?
pretty much everything. I think
Okay.
turnovers is the biggest thing, right? Like this is a team that's built on the numbers advantage, specifically from creating more shots through turnovers. Um, and 21 is insane. We were the best, least, we created the least, or we forced, I'm not saying this right. We had the least amount of turnovers in the regular season, and we
Yeah.
forced the most.
Yeah.
You can't win a game when the differential is 21 to 10, and it was even worse during, the competitive portion of this game. Um, Again, one steal from iHeart, one steal from Aaron Wiggins, one steal from uh, Cason Wallace, and I think that was pretty much it. And one
Mhm.
steal from Jay Will, but four steals for this Oklahoma City Thunder team, and half of that is in garbage time. Unacceptable. Their defensive pressure needs to be at the level we've seen it to be, and they need to just attack the hell out of Tyrese Halliburton. I mean,
Thank you.
if
Yep.
he is injured, if I mean
Please.
he is, you're right.
Yeah.
But he didn't
Yeah.
appear so because OKC did not force him into situations where you
Yeah,
felt
exactly. Yep.
injured. He felt comfortable at home. Obviously there was I did see notice like he wasn't moving to the best of his abilities. Like his movement, like he wasn't fast for sure. But the fact is, he only had to play 23 minutes. He's going to be a lot more rested. And if he's still hurt on this calf, like you need to attack the hell out of him. Shea needs to attack him at every opportunity. J-Dub needs to attack him at every opportunity. And Lou Dort needs to be in his face as much as possible. Like there is no you have to cut off the head of the snake with this team. And if
That's
yeah.
something about Shea that I feel like that scores mentality is like I don't care who's guarding me because
Mhm.
I'm just gonna go get a bucket on him. And I feel like he doesn't really think like I feel like he thinks in his head he can get a bucket over Nemhard just as much as he can get a bucket over Tyrese. So a lot of the times that they're bringing Tyrese up into action, Tyrese shows and then he recovers, and Shay's holding that ball and he's not swinging it to the next guy, but he's keeping the ball and he's like, okay, now let me attack Nemhard. Too many pull-up
Mhm.
threes for me. Like I know that's his game, but it's like you're right. Like you have to tire out the guy who's clearly injured. That's
Yeah.
what the Cavs did to Steph over and over and over again in Game
Yeah.
6, in Game 7 because they knew he was hurt.
Nice to hear a Cavs fan admit that he was hurt.
Of course he was. But I mean, he still made
Uh,
some really terrible decisions. Not
Fucking garbage. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. I think you guys are right. From the Pacers' point of view, I think their transition defense was fucking phenomenal. They also had like the in actual like non-garbage time. I think the Thunder had less than 10 assists. I'm just like rereading the box score. AJ Mitchell had 4 assists this game, and you
Yep.
guys had 14 as a whole.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, and so I think and Dylan Jones had one. So that means
We
yeah, if
had
you had less
zero
than 10,
assists in the
that's
second
fucking
quarter.
crazy. Yeah, that's insane.
Six
And I
total
think
assists
okay,
in the like the first three quarters. That's insane.
yeah, I think a large part of that is due to the Pacers defense. Um, Thunder just couldn't, and like even when that's in that stretch where both teams went cold, like it was started off like 0 of 11 to open up the third quarter
Mhm.
combined. I mean, you guys, that's like the prime opportunity to come back. Like I'm pretty sure all three of us were sure the Thunder were going to come back in this game.
Yeah.
So when that
It
lead
was not
ballooned to
gonna,
like
to be
30,
honest.
really,
I mean,
I
after
don't
the
like,
half, I was like, maybe we can close it to 15 or something, keep it competitive. But I didn't think we are going to win this game because there was, I mean, that
yeah,
that portion was so awful. Even the first quarter, when we were able to make it a 1 point game, it felt like Indiana had good looks in the beginning where they were just ice cold, and then
yeah.
from there they were just hitting everything. Like it felt like they were really comfortable, and against OKC, you can't afford that.
Mhm.
So it again, game four happened, and I didn't think OKC was going to pull that one out. So they could have for sure, but I
Did you
didn't
guys
think
think that did you guys think that OKC looked nervous?
not
I don't think
nervous,
it's
just like
nervous. They
tired,
just are
like
not
bored.
engaged.
Yeah,
Yeah, exactly.
exactly.
Like, how are you bored in the finals? But that's the part that is crazy. None of these guys have won a championship. For like the Celtics, for example, who are there like practically every year, it's like, yeah, they look disengaged, because they know what it's about. But the Thunder are on the brink of winning a championship for the first time for the Oklahoma. That's insane, and they've come out so flat.
To me, they did look a little like maybe not nervous, but like a little skittish, a little like just like you, I could just feel like something was off. Even when they got out to that early lead, all the early fouls, something about it, like n nobody could hit, nobody was even close on any of those threes.
Yeah,
Something about it just like felt like they weren't ready for the moment, which scares me for them going into Game 7.
that Lou Dort airball was wild. I think
I
about the
just think
whole
they,
like
I mean,
Lou Dort being engaged. Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
oh no, go ahead. You're right. Yeah.
I was just gonna say that I think Lou Dort specifically, I think Caruso's always pretty engaged in the game. Like even
Yeah.
when he's not having the best offensive night, he will put his like heart out there defensively. I feel like Lou Dort relies a lot on his offense coming through, and that reflects on his defense. Like obviously he's an excellent defender, but it makes it easier to defend when you're also hitting your shots. And he went 1 of 5 from the field tonight. It's just hard, I feel like, mentally to put that same effort in when you're not having the greatest night offensively. So
Even that
yeah.
Caruso like push on Neesmith, like those are small things that I feel like you don't really
Hmm.
see Caruso do, which is like a little bit telling to me.
I
It
do.
was yeah, they were getting annoyed. Yeah,
Yeah,
go
I
ahead.
just think this series has been like a huge home road. Like you've seen the home, I mean, a home court
Definitely.
is like the first three rounds of the playoffs. It's been pretty non-existent, but
I
this
have
is
I
especially.
got a stat for that. They're
Yeah,
plus 247 point differential at home, and they're minus 67 on the road, which is like must be the largest difference ever.
yeah,
It's
Yeah,
a,
yeah.
it's a different
insane,
team. It's a different team.
insane. So that's why at the end of the day, I think OKC, like this is not going to be a blowout again, for sure. This is a much different team at home, and Indiana is a much different team on the road, if we're being honest too. Tyrese has been awful on the road. Other guys have stepped up in occasion, but they've also shot really poorly on the road as well, and have turned the ball over a lot on the road. And that could be just Indiana, OKC's defense really steps up at home. But then again, if that's the case, OKC has the advantage here.
Yeah.
So
I agree.
yeah, I don't. This
It's gonna
is
be a slower game, I'm sure. Like it's a game 7.
Mhm. They always, yeah,
Just
there's always like the
gonna be this.
intensity you can
Yeah.
feel in those type of games where it's just
Hmm.
slowed down. Every possession feels like the end of the world. And
But
Yeah.
the problem is with the Pacers, if all signs point to the other team, that means the Pacers are probably going to win. So, I'm just saying.
no, you're right. I mean, but then again, every game of this series, OKC's been favored. So
Yeah.
um, I'm not going to put it past them, Indiana to win.
Yeah.
I'm troubled though by this outcome for sure.
Anything else you guys want to discuss? Yeah.
I was gonna say the starting five, they walked into some elite.
Hell yeah.
I mean, they got Tyrese and they got Shai. I mean, in a game 7 of the NBA Finals.
Yeah, that's
Oh
crazy.
my God, yeah. Dude,
Um,
I'm hoping we see something. I think Kevin Durant's in this one, right? Imagine if we're able to get
yeah,
behind the scenes on the trade too.
yeah, that would be
That
crazy.
would be sick.
It's Harden
Oh
and
yeah.
Jalen Brown also, which are both pretty interesting as well.
That'd be cool, I guess. Do you guys want to talk about I'm not super in tune with the draft, but you want to talk about
I mean, I think
what's his name?
we should give predictions first.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Um,
Go
Um,
ahead.
you want
Sai,
Sai,
what do you think?
why don't you go for it, Sai? Because I feel like I
Yeah.
know what you're gonna say, but
I mean, I've said it every game. Every time I make a prediction with OKC, I got to pick them out of obligation. Never feel good about it. Gonna continue to not feel good. Then again, this is a team that hasn't lost back-to-back games in this playoffs. Um, they're a very reactive team and they're a very responsive team. So they are willing to rise to the occasion if they get hit. Like if they get hit, they're willing to come back and fight back. You know what I mean? Um, every game they've lost bad this postseason, they've won the next one. So I really believe in OKC, especially they're going to be at home. Uh, maybe the game being on Sunday helps. And I just think Shea, he is an all-time great, and I think he's going to play like one. He's going to understand the defense for Carlisle's throwing at him, and maybe they'll switch it up. But I
Mhm.
think he just needs a game to get adjusted to these new defenses, which shouldn't like I don't think that's a good expectation to have because you can't just afford to be giving games away like every time.
Mhm.
But
Yeah.
I think he's going to be able to rise to the occasion, and I hope the other guys can shoot enough threes, and I hope we can create enough turnovers. I'm going to pick OKC, but I think I'm worried if it's a close game, they can close us out. That's the problem. And So I'm hoping like OKC by 10. That's I mean, which would suck for the average viewer because everyone wants to see 2016 Warriors Cavs as their game seven, but
Facts.
I want to
Not
play
everyone, bro.
just for my
Yeah.
own sake. I can't live with the anxiety here.
What about
So,
you?
what about you?
Oh,
Oh, okay.
you
Let
go,
me
you
just
go.
go ahead. Yeah, I'm also kind of torn, but because I think it might be a slower game, I think the Thunder will take it. I think the defense will actually matter in this game. And I also think like in the clutch games, the Pacers would definitely look better. But the one game we could look at is game four again, where it was definitely a clutch time game
Mhm.
until like the Thunder blew it open, like extended past 10. And a big part of that is because Tyrese is hurt. Like he's still not 100%. So I think if it is like a 2 point game, you can't really trust Tyrese Halliburton to close this out. And he is the engine that makes the Pacers go in clutch time. So for that, I would probably take like I feel like we can see a classic Thunder performance, like a classic Shea. Like we look back on this in like 10 years and say that was the beginning of this Thunder run. And I think we could see something very similar to that Timberwolves Thunder game where you see Shea, J-Dub, and Chet. Maybe not Chet. I don't know. He's been pretty terrible, but at least Shea and J-Dub close this thing out. So I will take the Thunder in this game.
I feel like I've been shooting like Miles Turner and Chet in when it comes to predictions on this podcast. But I'm gonna go against the norm. I'm gonna pick Indiana to win game seven. I'm sorry, Sai.
No, very
Um,
valid.
Fuck.
Not to do it.
I just feel like OKC looked kind of nervous today. I think that Indiana has just defied logic over and over and over again. They feel like the team of destiny this year. They just play their game, like they feel unshakable at times. And I think that at this point, their belief is at an all-time high where I wouldn't be surprised if there's some doubts seeping into the minds
Yeah.
of some of the Thunder players. I don't like that Mark Daignault still doesn't know exactly what his rotation is. I don't even know who he's going to
That's
start in game seven.
bro. That is so true. I have no idea what the starting lineup is going to be. Are they going to go double big? What are they going to do? I
I
don't
don't
know.
even know what the bench is. I mean, is he going three deep? Is he going four deep? Like off the bench? I seriously don't know. And I think, there's the teams that are down 3-2 in the finals. They've won game six. The past four, the last 20 years, they've all four of them have won. There's or the three, it's the Cavs, the Heat, and the Lakers, 2013 Heat, 2010 Lakers. I think that that means something psychologically because being so close to just like being able to like sniff a championship, the Larry O'Brien Trophy, and then not getting it is so difficult on the mind. Sometimes hard to overcome. And I think crazy shit just happens in game sevens. Tim Duncan
Facts.
gets that bunny in 2013, and Shane Battier hit like
Oh,
five threes. Draymond Green had like 30 something points, but then J.R.
like
Smith
seven threes,
explodes.
bro.
He had
Yeah.
seven threes, but then J.R. Smith randomly explodes, and Iman Shumpert has a 4 point play. Just like these random small things that have been going the Pacers' way all season. It just feels like game seven of the NBA Finals is the culmination of everything that they've put together this season. And it just feels like they're the team of destiny. So I'm going to pick the Pacers. I kind of want to say like a Halliburton game winner, which would
Oh my
just be
god.
like amazing.
I might quit watching basketball after
You would
that
fucking
happens.
kill yourself.
I feel like I've been looking at your face while I'm saying this, and like you're Loki getting sicker and sicker. Just
No,
imagine.
it's just like the points are all valid, you know what I mean? And I could like in my head I can see every single one of those things happen. I can see myself crying after, you know.
Yeah.
Dude, I
Uh
saw someone on Twitter say that exact thing. Like, watch Tyrese Halliburton to be the first fucking player in NBA history to hit a game winner in a game set in a finals game set.
If that does happen, like I think like obviously the 2016 Cavs are like the moment of my life. But this Pacers team that has like continuously just impressed me that I've been wrong about literally basically every series.
defied the
Yeah.
odds for real.
I think like I don't think I'd forget this team for a very long time. And it just feels like it's their it just they're in game seven of the NBA Finals against a 68 win Thunder. I don't know how we've even gotten here, so I'm just gonna pick them by like 3 points and call it a day.
Like this crazy, bro. He's literally calling the fucking Tyrese Halliburton game
They're
winner.
not gonna because they're not gonna win in a blowout, so they're not gonna win by double digits. And
Why
at that
not,
point,
bro?
yeah.
Yeah, I would be
Don't put
very
anything
surprised if
past this
if it's
team.
a
Don't put anything
yeah.
past
Okay,
this
let's talk about crazy. But yeah. How would you feel if Tyrese Halliburton gets his eighth, ninth, and 10th points in his game winner?
Again, I could totally see any of those things happening. Which is the shame of a game seven where you can't predict anything. Um, I did want to add a couple of things about the Indiana. I felt like they shortened their rotation this game.
Mhm.
Matherin barely played.
Yeah,
He played like what, like 2 minutes? Something really
2 minutes in the
stupidly
second,
low.
and then
yeah.
played
Yeah.
garbage time. So, I mean, sucky birthday gift for him.
Sorry, he had 2 points. Yeah. What was the birthday? Yeah.
Yeah.
I like the Tony Bradley minutes actually. I
Yeah.
thought he was pretty good on the glass, and he had an
Even
offensive
last
rebound.
game, I thought he was decent.
He
And
hit a, I
Ben
think
Shepherd was really good this game too. I mean,
He
that
was. He
easy
was really good this
end of
game.
buzzer shot, like
yeah,
he's
That
that's
was
the
he's
huge.
been
nail.
That
very
was like,
serviceable defensively.
Yeah, that's the nail in the coffin. Hit that third quarter shot that killed any hope of OKC coming back if there was even some before that.
Yeah.
yeah,
It
like
just
Sai always says, bro, you can come back from down 27, but once it hits 30, bro, it's impossible.
it's
I
just
mean, we
something
came back
about
to 29, I think, against Memphis.
Yeah, they came. Yeah, Memphis. Yep.
Yeah.
something about the Pacers, man. They just have like okay,
The
let me ask you
demon
this question.
magic, bro. It's the demon magic. That's why they don't win on Sundays.
Yeah.
If you had to guess one day that I mean one player that's gonna win like that's gonna have a Shane Battier type of performance on either side, who would you pick?
I go first. Pick one on each team.
Yeah. Big game Lou Dort. Give me five
Yeah.
threes.
God, that would
Game
piss me
seven,
off.
Blue
Nailed
Dort, bro.
five threes. Lou
That would
Dort.
piss me off. That would piss me off.
And then on the Pacers.
Oh, I don't want to have to pick for the Pacers, but
All right, bro.
No, we'll
That,
let you live with that. What about you,
yeah.
Rohan? What do you think?
okay. For the Thunder, I don't want to copy side, bro, but I feel like Ludor is such a good answer. I'll go. I feel like Aaron Wiggins has low-key been an X factor for the
Yeah,
team, so I feel
that's
like
what I was
that's an easy one. I mean, there's no shot we see like big Jalen Williams minutes, right?
No.
So I mean, like big, at least big. Yeah, I doubt it. So I mean, I'd probably go Aaron Wiggins, but on the Pacers side, like I was saying, there's so many guys. I don't want to pick Toppin because he's already been that guy. So if I was to pick someone new, like
That's why it's like you can't pick Toppin.
I can't pick Toppin. So part of me is like kind of debating between Ben Shepherd and Miles Turner because Miles Turner, I'm sure he has a game in him where he can get like 5 threes. He totally can.
And he's
And
getting a
he
lot of
like,
looks, like
yeah,
ton of
exactly. He's
looks,
been missing
corner
like
threes, top of the key, like normal.
top of the key threes. That's his shot, bro. I'm surprised he's fucking breaking it the way he is. Um, so I'll go Miles Turner. Fuck it.
For OKC, I would also I was gonna say Aaron Wiggins even before I'd say Lou Dort, just because like
Yeah.
he has this like ultra green light. He had a pull up transition three I think in today's game
That
too.
was
Like
the only three in like the first half.
yeah, well,
Made two
yeah.
bench points in the first half.
And I thought they went back to Kenrich a little bit when I would have gone back to I don't know if it was Kenrich or somebody else, but I would have gone back to Wiggins again.
Mhm.
Um, I could see him having a big game at home too. Wallace's minutes have kind of been dwindling. But I think if he can
Yeah.
get hot like he did in game five, then he's a really valuable piece. On the Pacers side, I'm surprised nobody said TJ McConnell. I mean, this feels like a TJ.
He's a
It's like
star at this point.
repetitive, you
He's
know.
a
He's
star at this
already
point.
like I can't. It's like are you, like with TJ McConnell, you might as well fucking say Tyrese Halliburton, dude. Like
Yeah.
he's been
No,
doing. I'm trying to pick someone who's like not. We already expect him to play, have a good game, you know. But
the thing
like,
is, like, yeah,
yeah,
he is still TJ though. Like he's an undersized guy that like in game
yeah,
seven, but it just feels like he's built for these moments. You know, he's shooting
absolutely.
63%. He's shooting 63% on jump shots outside of 8 feet in the playoffs.
Yeah,
Outside,
that's crazy.
that's
That's
ridiculous.
crazy, dude.
So
He's
he just
hitting
hasn't been
threes. That's
missing.
crazy. Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
I like that. I think TJ he's built for these type of moments. I don't think he's going to be fearful at all. Helps coming off the bench too a little bit.
Mhm.
Um, calms the nerves. I think he's just gonna. I think he could go out there and kill. And I predicted Indiana to win, so I think I'm gonna predict a big TJ McConnell game, which is
Oh my God. Wow. Okay.
That's par for the course right now.
yeah,
Honestly, another guy for OKC, I think Alex Caruso.
yeah.
He's been disappointing the last three games offensively. Or the last two games offensively hasn't really scored at all. And the first four games of the series, he was averaging 15. So
Mhm.
whatever Indiana's done to kind of limit his offensive production, he hasn't been hitting from three. I felt like hasn't gotten the transition chances this game, right? That he usually has, but even downhill, I just felt like he hasn't been that impactful. So
Yeah.
he's been steady as a scorer for the first four games and been that like reliable role player. We need some more of that in game seven.
Yeah.
Yeah. My worry is that the Thunder are just getting a little tired, man. That's literally it. Like they're just the a big reason why I feel like the Pacers transition defense it looks so much better is because the Thunder's offense just looks worse. And like I feel like a lot of Caruso's effectiveness offensively comes in transition. So yeah, we'll see what happens in game seven. But if these guys are really gonna play 45 minutes, might lean the Pacers way.
Mhm. Any other final stock, or should we touch on a couple other things? Or
I think that's good for the finals. Let's
okay,
see what happens.
Yeah.
7. Go Thunder. Hopefully they win.
Oh
good
yeah, go
luck.
Thunder. Okay, do you want to like quickly touch on Ime and then Ace Bailey?
Mhm.
I don't
Yeah.
know why I'm so obsessed with Ace Bailey's bum ass, but like, bro, who the fuck does this guy think he is? Like entitled piece of shit,
I think we
hiring
should just start
Sharif
there
Cooper's
with
dad.
your rant here, bro. Go crazy.
There's not much left. I mean, but like, I don't know. This guy already has so many like flaws in his game. Like people are worried he's going to be the next Jabari Smith, only worse. Like can't put the ball on the floor. He takes tough shots. Um, doesn't seem to have a good attitude either. He doesn't want like. Why would you not want to go to the Sixers? I feel like they have such a decent team to be on. Like especially if they get rid of Paul George, you have like Jared McCain, Tyrese, and Joel Embiid. He's like, I don't want to go try out for the Pacers. I mean, for the Sixers unless they guarantee they'll draft me. Like that's so wild to me. Like I feel like the NBA has changed so much in the last like 15 years. Like, these guys come all from like blue chip backgrounds.
Mhm.
Like they no longer come from like single parent households who have to literally claw their way back into
The
the NBA.
entitlement,
Like
very
That's true. It's
crazy.
true.
crazy, bro. Like even like when like Jaden Ivey told the Kings he didn't want to be drafted by them, that was when my hate for Jaden Ivey started, bro. I was a day one fucking hater. I was always rooting for Keegan Murray. Hasn't done the best, but like that type of attitude pisses me off. Like Cooper Flag showed up to the draft combine. That's so great. Like that never happened. These number one picks don't go to the
He
draft
just he just
combine
does
anymore,
things the
which is
right way for sure.
Yeah.
facts, bro. Yeah. So I mean that's my rant on Ace Bailey.
I don't really have much XBO thoughts. I haven't done much draft research.
Yeah, dude. I mean, this is the first year I feel like I've done no draft insert because I'm like so mentally
Locked
locked
in.
in on the Thunder. Yeah, I
What?
could. Yeah,
Go
sorry.
go for it. No, go for it,
Yeah,
son.
I completely agree. Like I heard his agent is like Sharif Cooper's agent.
Yeah, his dad,
Yeah.
dude.
Yeah, his dad. So it's I don't know. This is very concerning because like you would think if you decline all your workouts, he hasn't worked out for one team, which is insane. Um,
Mhm.
Yeah.
you have a promise in hand, but now the fact that he's not doing it for the Sixers unless he gets a promise. I mean, maybe like the Nets are promised him or something like he wants something deeper where he's going to get a bigger opportunity. I
That's what
could
it
see
smells
something like
like to
that.
me.
Or he's just being stupid and it's like, I need a promise right now, and he's being really entitled. And it's like I'm such a big top three talent that I deserve to go wherever I choose. And he's just not good enough to warrant this level of control, in my opinion.
I mean,
You
So
know what's
if
so
you
dumb? Yeah. Go ahead.
I was gonna say if you watch his tape, like a lot of the tough twos he takes and all those like the tough shot maker that he is because he's not really that good at getting by his first defense.
Exactly.
yeah.
He can't put the ball on the floor. He's
Yeah.
not a great shot creator. He's not. He just shoots over guys just like Jabari Smith, bro. Like
Mhm.
exact same problem. That's why he's never going to be Kevin Durant. Like Kevin Durant
Mhm.
can actually create separation and rise up over you.
And he's
Mhm.
short.
But
He's not as big as Jabari or Kevin Durant.
Mhm.
it's like an Imani Bates 2.0, bro. It's going to be the same shit. What was I going to say? Yeah. It's interesting that like even today that these NBA players want to go to teams where they'll get a huge opportunity. Because I feel like in today's NBA, like if you're good, you will be shown. Like I feel like role players today, like everyone knows the good role players. So if I'm like I feel like if I'm in the draft, like Jared McCain, for example, like we knew he was good from like practically like month one. I know that like Tyrese was out of the lineup, Joel Embiid was out of the lineup, but like these guys been getting good opportunities. So I don't know why he's so insistent on like going to his own team. Would he prefer to go to the fucking Jazz? Like, what does he want?
I think what you're maybe underestimating is the fact that like a lot of them are just like prioritizing money in their first contract, and their second
Yeah, they're
contract.
too
I think like
short-sighted.
it's the Kaminga problem, right? Like
Yeah.
why won't you be this like dunker spot guy? And it's because he doesn't want to get role player money. He wants to get star player money. And I think that like that's kind of the similar thing that like a lot of these draft guys are thinking of like I'd rather go to the Jazz and shoot 15 shots a game than go to Dallas or one of the teams higher up in the draft and shoot like 6 shots a game and learn a lot. Like they don't want to learn a lot. They want to make money. They want to get the fucking the supermax after their first contract.
Yeah, no, that's true.
It's unfortunate.
Um, but that's the thing. It doesn't end up working well for like
No.
it doesn't for those guys who want to go to lose because then they get labeled as like losers and versus literally the exact opposite way when a lot of other guys are like discovered because they start off as elite role players and then end up going to their own team. But whatever, still gonna be richer than us. So
What do
Who am
you
I to
guys think
judge?
you guys think the Ime Udoka extension is because the Knicks called about him?
I wait. I'm not sure. Like,
They
what?
didn't
I
say a
actually have no
number.
idea what his contract was. Yeah, I don't know. Wait,
It
what
just
was he on
Shams
before?
was just saying like he's gonna be one of the top paid coaches, and it's gonna be like in the tens of millions per year.
Is that not weird that they didn't say what the number is? I feel like that doesn't usually happen.
Yeah, I agree. I not sure. Maybe some confidentiality, or they're still working out the details.
Hmm.
Mm.
But yeah, I have no idea. But I mean, good for Houston. He's obviously their coach. They have a defensive identity, and he's the reason for it. Ime, he really enhances their defense. In my opinion, should have been top three for Coach of the Year this year. I don't know if he was or not. I don't think he was.
Was he
Uh,
not? Wait, what? Really?
I
As a
think
two seed, it wasn't. I mean, assuming it was Kenny Atkinson was there,
yeah,
and
and
then Mark was there, and then who was the
not
third?
Mark. Um,
Huh?
well, maybe Mark was third, but it was Bickerstaff, right? JB was second.
Oh, right, for the Pistons. Yeah. Oh, okay, okay.
So yeah,
Oh, wow. Okay. I mean, that's fair though, honestly. Like maybe Loki could have said he deserved it over Mark because they were already great last year. They were the number one seed last year.
No,
yeah.
he
I mean,
wouldn't
but
keep
the
Are
thing
you
is,
saying.
like,
sure
this
Ime
is a team
wasn't
with no
there?
roster turnover, and he really managed to like accelerate the
That's
time.
the, it's super no, it's crazy. Yeah, I agree. That's what I'm saying. Like even like I think the Pistons is clearly like more impressive though, just because of how bad they were last year. Like the Rockets showed some like sign of life
Yeah.
to close last year. But yeah, no, definitely well deserved. I'm not sure if it has anything to do with the Knicks thing. Like it's something that you would expect would just happen, right? Because he's an elite coach. Like I think he's widely regarded as like a top five, like eight coach in the league easily.
Yeah.
Um, but that's funny. Yeah,
Yeah,
I think yeah.
I was just gonna say like it seems like they have their coach of their future and they're kind of heading towards like their identity. So do you think it's
Mhm.
gonna affect the KD sweepstakes at all?
I don't
Dude, I
know.
think
I don't know.
like identity meaning what? Like their defensive identity? Again, I think KD
Yeah.
fits great defensively on that team. I don't think like Ime is like I think like yeah, I don't think that I don't think it's that deep, dude. I don't think Ime being like establishing this like hard-nosed defensive identity will stop
I
them
just
from
mean like
trying to
you're
acquire
giving this
KD.
much control of the franchise to the coach, it really feels like with this move. So if he pick
Frankly though,
you
I
want
think
to
that's
change
fair.
direction, is he okay with like a KD trade? You know what I mean?
Well, it's still like yeah, I mean why he's not an idiot. Like
Yeah, fair.
what's the alternative? It's fucking Kevin Durant. And again, like I think it's
Giannis,
fine. Okay, I mean, sure, but if Giannis, like, I'm sure they're trying to get either of them. But if you can't get Giannis, KD is not a bad consolation prize.
for sure.
Um,
It's Kevin Durant.
and like, I just think, I think it's better that the stars don't dictate the team moves. I think, like, I would much prefer a general manager or a coach doing it because I feel like, yeah, like if it's up to Kevin Durant, he's gonna get like he probably wanted Bradley Beal, dude, or he like these guys want all these like bucket getters, and it ends up going really wrong. And I've said the same thing when I've been hating on LeBron in the past. These guys want certain guys that don't end up working well. Like I think it's a lot better when the roster construction is made by the coach and they get a sign off or the GM and they get a sign off from the player.
I
For
agree.
example, Brad Stevens. Like I just think it's better not to give a player that much power, especially one that
Mhm.
hasn't been on your team yet. Like you can't already let Kevin Durant own the Rockets like future when he comes on as like in his first year.
Yeah, agreed. Before we end it off, Rohan, since you weren't here for last episode, I did want to know your thoughts on the Desmond Bain trade. Like, what would you vote, or kind of
Ooh,
each side?
fuck. Let me think about this. They gave up what like four picks for him.
Yeah, it was
Mhm.
four picks in a pick swap. One of the picks was from this year. One of them was their own pick, but it was had like swap rights with Wizards and the Suns for next year, and then 28 and 30, I think, were the two picks. Orlando.
Yeah, I mean, I think getting off the KCP contract was definitely a win
Mhm.
for the Magic.
Hmm.
Um, I think like I still feel like they need a primary playmaker, and I would have prioritized that. Like I would have prioritized going after a Trey Young using those four picks rather than Desmond Bain. Like I'm just not sure this is like the needle mover they expect. I still think he fits great, and Desmond Bain is a decent playmaker and a decent defender too,
Hmm.
right? But like he's not your point guard. He's a shooting like he's not going to play that role for you.
Yeah.
So it just like
Do you think
and
Paolo and
yeah,
Franz, like you get enough improvement from them, where like they're the point forwards of the team?
They can be point forwards all they want, but that team still doesn't have spacing around Desmond Bane. He's gonna be like KCP had historic years before joining the Magic. Then you saw him shoot like fucking like less than four. Like I don't even know what he shot from three last year. But like
Well,
Desmond Bane has been.
he was playing with LeBron and Jokic, so that has changed
That's
things.
true. But the point is he's getting good looks. And
Mhm.
Desmond Bane throughout his Grizzlies tenure, especially next to Ja, and they've always surrounded him with like decent shooters. Like he's always had at least one good shooter around, even if it's Jaren Jackson Jr. Jaren Jackson Jr. is a better shooter than like both Franz and Paulo, I think.
Mhm.
So I just don't think like if Bane is going to get the majority of the perimeter attention, um, not sure if it's going to go that well for him. I do like the fit with Jalen Suggs, though. I think that's a really good fit. Um, yeah,
I agree.
yeah, I think it's a good trade. Like at least they're doing something, dude.
Mhm.
But it's just it's just like so black and white to me. Like I know it's boring to think about, but the Magic are not going to be contenders with this move. So to me, it's like a waste. But I don't think I should be thinking about it like that. But that unfortunately is how I'm wired to think about the NBA.
Yeah, I mean, ring culture, LeBron had his
Literally.
yeah, but I would say it's not an immediate contender move, right? But these guys are under contract for at least the next 3 years. I think they're gonna. I don't know if Paulo's officially had his contract, his second extension yet, but it'll happen this
Mhm.
summer if it hasn't happened already. Um, so down the road with enough improvement from Franz and Paulo, then they could be a contender,
Mm.
these guys, right?
Mhm.
Or at
You
least,
have contingent on them improving though. Like
but
I don't know what you think their
that's the type of
ceiling is going to
that's the
be.
type of bet you make with this
Sure. No, I
move,
agree.
right?
I
Yeah.
agree. Yeah, like
Grizzlies side, what do you think?
say it again.
On the Grizzlies side, what do you think?
Oh, I don't know what the fuck they're doing, dude. Like, are they trying to go all in for Kevin Durant or Giannis or something? Otherwise, like, at this point, just fucking start a fire sale with Jaren Jackson Jr. and John Morant because this team is not winning shit. They're frauds. They've won one playoff series for this like entire like John Morant era, and these guys can't. He can't even stay healthy. So what's the point? Um,
That was me and Sai, our last podcast we had the debate about because I was on the side of end it and he was on the side of you still have something there.
I think you have something there if you can get like Giannis, but
Well, yeah.
I don't think it's
I
gonna
just think
happen.
it's like
Like
the same ring culture thing. Like obviously, yeah, it's
it
not
is,
like they're the immediate contender, but I feel like they're not too different from what they were last year. And obviously Bane is, a much better player than KCP and Cole Anthony, but uh they have picks now, they have roster flexibility that they didn't have. And it just feels like with the second apron, you can kind of afford two stars maybe rather than the big three. So if you
dude.
can have
But
roster
they're not.
flexibility,
You
the
need a
depth
tier
can
one
help.
star.
Yeah,
The
no, I
depth
agree
is
with that.
fine,
I
but
agree.
like, yeah, I do. I've always been high on. It's so funny we're talking about the Grizzlies right now because like some asshole went back to a tweet I had a year ago about the Grizzlies saying they're sneaky, like good team, and someone should watch out for them, which they were for majority of the year. Like he got 500 likes at the time.
Hmm.
Then someone said, "LOL, you were wrong" or some shit. I was like, "Okay, bro. Like, what do you want me to say?" But like, I was always so high in the Grizzlies, but they look like they're literally a bad team merchant, bro. Um,
Yeah.
like Ja has regressed substantially. Jaren Jackson Jr. his offense, like after that 1 year of Ja being hurt, he thinks he's a fucking ISO player now. Just does some dumbass like ugly fucking post ups 24/7. His shot is inconsistent. He can't rebound the ball. Um, and like they need like a tier one. So like Ja's not a top 15 player at all. It's not even a conversation anymore. He's not top 15. Like
Yeah.
JJJ might be better than him, which is crazy because JJJ is fucking ass too. Um, so like you need if you add like Kevin Durant to that team, I still wouldn't say they're the best team in the league, but they're a contender,
Hmm.
right? That's the only way I think this works, and I still don't know if they have enough assets for Kevin Durant. Like maybe those four picks are enough. I don't know. But that's the only way. I wouldn't say like retool. Retool is not a word I would use with this team. Like they need a big move, or they should blow it up, in my opinion.
Fair
So
enough.
I'm kind of like taking the middle point between you. I'm sure like you guys agree, like as the midpoint in your things,
Yeah,
like if
yeah.
they can't get the big fish, then there's no point because they're going to be stuck in mediocrity. Continue getting like the 16th pick in the draft, and like I don't know,
Yeah, fair enough. Might as well get ahead of mediocrity and like being in limbo.
like yeah, it's tough, man. Like the Mavs got really fucking lucky for getting Cooper Flag. At least now they can somewhat choose a direction if they want to.
Yeah,
But the Grizzlies, like you really don't know. And they fired Taylor Jenkins too, and like they that was not the answer. So yeah, not sure where they're gonna go from here.
What would you give a grade for both sides? Because I feel like you're more down on both sides than we were. I think, yeah, we both had like in the B's and A's for both teams.
No, I think like you're right. Like I shouldn't be so like short-sighted with my analysis of the Magic side of things. I think that was a good trade. Like you're showing you care about winning now, and you're kind of like Desmond is not old by any means. So like I would give it like an A minus or like a B plus for the Magic.
Hmm.
And for the Grizzlies, like it's hard. Like right now, I just didn't think like how much flexibility does it give them? Like they,
Not a lot
I
for a
feel like
couple years, to be honest, but the contracts are at least
yeah,
good.
like I think okay, here's the thing. Desmond Bain is one of those guys where like you have to pay him a lot of money, even though he's not going to give you that much, because another team will give him that much money, right? So like to an extent, he's overpaid, but you have to give him that much. So I guess he was the right guy to move. Um, so like right now, I'll give them like a B minus. In the future, I could change my grade based on how they use these picks,
Hmm.
because if they're gonna actually like draft players with these picks, or if they're gonna trade Jaren Jackson, and have a clear like future, then it's like obviously going to be a much higher grade. But if they, I don't know what the hell they're going to do. Like if they have to pick a direction. And I'm sure like it's like a similar position that the Suns are in, dude. Um, Again, I think the Grizzlies are still in a better position than the Suns,
Way
but
better.
like it's a very similar position in that they have like a young superstar. Like Devin Booker's better than both those guys, but they have like they want to get their picks, and they have a bunch of like very very mediocre talent around their stars.
Mhm.
So they have to pick a direction. Like Devin Booker wants to stay there for the rest of his life. I'm sure JJJ wants to stay as a Grizzly for the rest of his life, but it's just not worth it for these teams unless they can make a big splash.
Mhm.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right.
Yeah, that was a roundabout answer, but I
No,
think you
I
guys
mean,
get what I mean.
yeah, no, I agree. It really depends on the direction. And even if they go all in for KD and it doesn't work out, then it looks bad. So,
I still think it's worth it though. Like if they go after KD, I don't care. That's a
mhm.
great move. Like
No,
you
I
could
agree.
he's still like a top 10 player in the league. I would give it an I promise you if they convert those picks to KD, that's an A in my book, bro. You essentially traded Desmond Bane for Kevin Durant.
Mhm.
So yes, sure. And like how much more is the asking price for KD than what they traded away, what they got for Bane is my question.
It might be
Like maybe
I
less.
think
one
it's
more
I
role
think it's
player. I think it's more, but not by a lot. Like I think
Oh, you're saying no, I think it's less. KD's asking price is less than Bane.
Yeah.
oh really? Okay, I think it's slightly more. I know he's on expiring, but like
Expiring, he's
I don't know.
younger, less injury history. I
Yeah.
think all of that leans towards. And I think Bane's underrated.
Then answer me this: why
Yeah.
couldn't they trade for Kevin Durant? Do they not have the salary to do it? They
It's
totally could
just
have had the salary.
I would
I
argue
think
that
it's
maybe they didn't want to.
yeah.
That's ridiculous. Oh, come on. Why? Like, then what are
I
they
think
doing? Then
that
do they want to go for the future? Like, what are they doing then?
I
No, I
mean,
mean KD doesn't have a clear interest in re-signing there, and you're putting a lot of assets for that. And then he's also old. There's
Oh, so what
and
are
you
they?
look at
I
his
guess,
last
yeah.
you look at his last couple stops and they haven't been great. Like
yeah, that's
he's
Must
fair.
be going for Giannis then. Well, if they could get someone like a top 10 player for him, then by all means, like, it's worth it, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Like, yeah, I don't know. But, yeah.
All right. So you want to close this out?
Yeah. Thanks for listening to the Change of Pace podcast. Please follow us on Spotify at the Change of Pace and YouTube at Change of Pace Podcast. And now we also have TikTok at Change of
Yes,
Pace Pod
sir.
and
Yeah.
Instagram at Change of Pace Pod. So hope you guys have a good day and go Thunder. Watch Game 7. It's gonna be great.
Yes. All right.
Uh,
Thanks for
oh yeah.
listening.
Oh, NBA season ends Sunday, so that's gonna be a lot more to talk about in the offseason. It's coming soon.
We should do a
Draft is
fun
Wednesday.
recap pod. Huh?
So draft is Wednesday, and I think
Oh, shit.
Yeah, it's
something
crazy.
else is free
Oh, it's
agency
all
opens
happening
on
so
Sunday.
fast.
Free
Oh, my
agency.
God.
Yeah, it's gonna be lit.
All right. Peace.